Have you ever stepped into a room and sensed a subtle shift before anyone spoke? That's no accident. Something deeper arrives ahead of you. That's energy. It's your aura, an unseen field you radiate simply by existing as you are. Your presence carries weight. It vibrates, moving ahead of your voice. Psychologists like Carl Jung spoke of the self, the organizing center where ego and essence meet. When your inner life aligns, your energy becomes almost tangible. For some, it can feel uncomfortably intense. Some are drawn to it. Others feel unsettled because your light, without intention, illuminates shadows they'd rather leave unseen. Across history, cultures have described souls whose energy feels larger than life. The healer who enters a village and changes its collective mood. The calm figure whose steady presence diffuses chaos. Or that person who walks into a room and time seems to pause for a heartbeat. What unites these figures? An inner coherence that radiates outward. A living current that stirs its surroundings. An aura that refuses to hide. In this quantum-aligned video, we'll uncover 13 signs your aura is so powerful it may unsettle people. Stay until the end, not only to recognize these signs, but to see your own power and realize that your difference is not a flaw. It's the very force that makes you magnetic. And if you're new here, take a moment to like and subscribe. Let Quantum Align keep guiding you deeper into these mysteries. The first sign, your presence is striking in ways words can't explain. Some people fade as quickly as they arrive, while others linger long after leaving, even if they spoke little or you barely knew them. This isn't something visible. It's something felt. People whisper there's something about that person. That's the quiet density of your energy. It's the harmony between who you are within and what you radiate without. The body comes later. The soul was already there. Jung suggested the psyche transcends the body's limits. We are more than flesh and thought. We are presence shaped by every trial survived, every lesson integrated, every truth we uphold. The more authentic a person becomes, the more refined their energy, the more unforgettable without trying. It's a quiet force but undeniable, like a fragrance. No one sees but everyone senses, stirring memories, emotions, unease or comfort. The mark you leave reflects your inner integrity. Integrity is not rigidity. It's the alignment of thought, feeling, and action that creates a distinct energetic frequency that doesn't fade. Don't shrink yourself or mute your voice. You weren't meant to go unseen. Those with such striking presence often feel misplaced because their energy arrives first, provoking resistance, projection, or fascination. Recognition doesn't always come clearly. This leads us to the second sign your aura carries profound power. People feel either expanded or threatened around you. Your presence is never neutral. It activates, amplifies, provokes. Your energy brushes against what's been hidden in others, even locked away. Without a word, you reach psychic depth simply by existing. Jung observed that each of us carries a shadow, the pieces we suppressed or rejected to gain approval. The shadow isn't lifeless. It reacts. When you appear with a bright, authentic, God-infused aura, it feels threatened, not because you're wrong, but because you embody something the other person hasn't embraced yet. Truth feels frightening to those still wearing masks. People wrestling with inner conflict may project onto you the parts of themselves they won't face. You become their mirror, reflecting buried desires, forgotten strength, and unhealed pain. That reflection can trigger irritation, sudden dislike, even hostility without reason. But there's another side. Your expansive energy can spark awakening. To the ready, your presence is a doorway. They feel wider, braver, more connected, almost liberated. You're emitting the same energy. What changes is the receiver's state. Often, you're a catalyst for transformation, a living reminder that more exists, more awareness, wholeness, truth. Not everyone is prepared for that. Some retreat. Others move closer, sensing they've found what they didn't know they sought. That's the power of your aura. It stretches the field around it, and reactions reveal what lies inside each heart. Some arrivals make the world feel larger. Others tremble because you expose what the world hides. The third sign, your aura, is profoundly powerful. Animals, children, and nature instinctively recognize and respect you. The aura, this energetic or psychic field every being emits, has deep ties to the instinctive world. Animals possess a sensitivity beyond human logic. They don't read words or titles. They read the unseen harmony God wove into existence. A bird landing near you, a dog trusting you instantly, a child staring with knowing eyes, these are nature's confirmations of your frequency. They feel the quiet coherence you carry, and the universe responds. Quantum Aligned invites you to honor that gift, to like and subscribe so more seekers can step into this light with you. They read energy. They're unmoved by titles, appearances, or the sound of your voice. They sense what lives underneath: intention, vibration, emotional truth. An animal feels your nervousness even beneath a smile. It senses fear, affection, imbalance, or peace. Their language is subtle, silent, and energetic. When your aura is clear, centered, and aligned with God's quiet order, animals trust you. They approach with ease. They feel safe. This perception is instinct, a form of awareness deeper than reason. Animals, children, and nature itself are expressions of life's living unconscious. And that unconscious, as Jung noted, speaks in symbols, vibration, and archetypes. It doesn't need explanations. It recognizes what is true because it resonates on the same frequency. When your aura awakens, what they sense in you is that silent truth. A dog, a cat, or even a wild creature can stay calm near someone whose energy radiates presence and honesty. It's as if creation taught them to see not with eyes but with the soul's body. They don't see your persona, they sense your real field. And the opposite is equally true. When inner chaos, hidden tension, or repressed emotion swirls inside, animals detect it. They may retreat, grow cautious, bark, or hide, not because you're bad, but because your frequency feels unstable. It isn't moral judgment. It's energetic reading. In nature's quiet vocabulary, strength doesn't shout. It stands firm yet gentle. Creatures connect most easily with those attuned to that steady strength, that calm kind of divine power. This reveals how the aura serves as a bridge, translating your presence into a language beyond words. And animals speak that language fluently. The bond between aura and children is profound, instinctive, and often wondrous. Not mystical in the fantastical sense, but wondrous in its pure perception. Children don't filter through intellect. They filter through their energy field. They haven't yet been molded completely by social conditioning. So they perceive things as they feel them, not as they're spoken. Before they comprehend words, they absorb the energy behind your eyes, your tone, your presence. An unsettled aura can make them restless. A grounded, warm aura can instantly soothe. When your aura is clean, genuine, and connected, children trust. The beauty of this sign is its effortlessness. It doesn't require performance. It requires presence. It requires truth. And the instinctive world, animals, children, and nature, responds with a purity most adults have forgotten. Quantum Aligned celebrates this simple miracle. If you're finding value here, take a moment to like and subscribe so more seekers can reconnect with that purity. The fourth sign that your aura is powerful enough to unsettle others is quiet yet undeniable. You intimidate without trying. You step into a room with a calm heart, peaceful eyes, no desire to dominate, yet you notice defenses rise, rigid shoulders, tense voices, forced smiles, as if your arrival triggered a silent alarm. At first, this can feel confusing or even painful, especially if kindness and humility matter deeply to you. But what unsettles them isn't your action, it's what you embody. Jung described the persona as the mask we adopt for social acceptance. The more someone clings to that mask, the more fragile it feels when touched by authentic presence. You aren't performing. You're simply being. But for someone living on defense, that authenticity feels overwhelming. Your genuineness presses against illusion. Without intending to, you become a challenge to their facade. People project. They craft stories about you. They imagine arrogance where there is only grounded truth. They interpret silence as judgment, firmness as coldness, clarity as inflexibility. This reveals more about them than you. Those who haven't welcomed their own light often see another's light as aggression. But there's something deeper. You carry the energy of inner coherence. Coherence is rare, and it disrupts what's misaligned. Your mere existence whispers without words that life can be lived without pretense. That realization rattles anyone whose world is built on roles and expectation. You do not need to shrink yourself to ease their discomfort. Doing so would quietly betray your own essence. Some will find courage in your quiet strength. Others will resist. But that resistance isn't your burden. It's simply their familiar pattern for handling what hasn't awakened within. Yes, you intimidate, but not through force. You intimidate by revealing. To those accustomed to absence, genuine presence feels like a threat. The fifth sign that your aura holds extraordinary power. You shift the atmosphere of a space. Sometimes you notice, sometimes you don't. Yet it happens. It isn't a flashy display demanding attention. It's the opposite. It's a strength that doesn't need spectacle. It just arrives and settles. You enter, and something subtle becomes undeniable. People straighten. Others glance away. Conversations pause. For a breath, the room seems to reset its emotional temperature. This isn't control, it's the field you carry. And here at Quantum Aligned, we honor that quiet influence. Like and subscribe if these insights speak to the truth you feel stirring within. Energy healer and scientist Barbara Brennan, author of Hands of Light, explains that the human energy field extends far beyond the physical body. According to her, our aura stretches in every direction, and even without our awareness, it interacts with everything nearby, people, environments, even the emotional climate of a room. Brennan notes that this field carries delicate information about who we are, what we feel, and the experiences that shaped us. That's why when your energy is strong, aligned, and true to the quiet order of creation, it reorganizes a space, not through force, but through simple presence. Carl Jung spoke of symbolic presence, the living energy of a person that activates the unconscious in others without effort or intent. And that's exactly what happens when you enter a room. Your energy carries symbols and archetypes that speak to what lies dormant. You represent something larger, even unknowingly, and it stirs the atmosphere. Some call it a strong presence. But it's not aggressive strength. It's vibrational coherence. And coherence generates resonance. It organizes. It unsettles. It transforms. You might not grasp the full impact you make, but the space around you does. The field always responds. Your aura doesn't require a spotlight. It operates in the unseen. And wherever you move, nothing stays quite the same. The sixth sign that your aura is impossible to ignore is your intuition's effortless ability to read people and spaces. This isn't guesswork. It's not a theatrical gift. It's quiet perception, a sensitivity working beneath logic with uncanny accuracy. You step into a setting and sense when something feels off, even when appearances seem normal. You can tell when someone is uneasy, even behind a practiced smile. You sense tension in the air, even if voices remain calm. It's as if your skin inhales the atmosphere, translating invisible codes. That's intuition. And when your aura is clean, expansive, and attuned, it becomes a finely tuned antenna. It receives frequencies, nuances, and subtle vibrations, turning them into instant, accurate impressions. Jung taught that the unconscious communicates through symbols, feelings, and sensations. Intuition is the self's language, an internal compass that doesn't shout but quietly directs. It doesn't debate, but it reveals. It doesn't explain, but it points the way. That's why you recognize when energy is discordant. You sense when someone is pretending. You feel a room's heaviness, openness, manipulation, or safety long before evidence appears. This perception can feel unsettling because it exposes truths before facts catch up. You may try to convince yourself you're imagining it, but deep down you already know. Your aura reads. Your body translates. The language is vibrational. Even when you wish you didn't perceive so much, you still do. Sometimes it shields you. Other times it overwhelms you. But this isn't a flaw, it's awakened sensitivity. You hold a symbolic perception of reality. You look beyond appearances. You feel through layers. And in today's distracted world, that is a rare strength. Intuition can't be taught like a formula, but it can be cultivated. The more aligned you are with your inner truth and with God's quiet harmony, the clearer the world becomes. The seventh sign of a powerful aura is deceptively simple. Small talk drains you. You've tried the polite script, smiling, nodding, weather updates, but something inside you wilts. That's your energy field rejecting emptiness. Your aura knows when presence is real and when words are merely filling air. You feel it physically. Your energy dips, your chest tightens, your focus drifts. Something within whispers, "There's nothing for me here," and it's right. You weren't designed to uphold shallow masks. Your presence invites presence, and that can unsettle people because it calls for truth, attentive listening, genuine contact. It's not that you crave heavy conversations constantly. It's about connection. It's about honesty. Jung said wholeness comes from integrating the unconscious. Superficiality is its opposite, the refusal to look deeper, the endless circle of avoidance. Merely by existing, you point toward the center. But this frequency carries a cost. Loneliness. The world overflows with noise yet starves for presence. When you silently demand that interactions be authentic, the crowd thins. What remains are fewer conversations, but richer ones. Fewer companions, but deeper souls. Loneliness stops feeling like emptiness and becomes a refining filter, a sacred clearing where you no longer shrink to belong. Quantum Aligned reminds you, if these words resonate, like and subscribe so more kindred spirits can discover this space. The eighth sign of a profoundly powerful aura is that other people's shadows get projected onto you. The more whole your energy, the more it activates what others have repressed. You don't need to speak. Simply being there can provoke intense reactions, idealized admiration, groundless criticism, or sudden withdrawal. As mentioned earlier, the shadow is everything we suppressed, rejected, or buried to gain approval. This cornerstone of Jungian thought explains why one person's authenticity can stir unconscious discomfort in another. You arrive in truth, and without any effort, disruption follows. People may create stories to make sense of their feelings. They might place you on a pedestal or push you away without reason. They may sense your alignment with a divine order that challenges their illusions. But remember, their projections are not your identity. They are mirrors of their own unhealed places. Your role is not to carry their shadows, but to remain steady in your integrity. By staying faithful to your essence, you serve as a quiet reminder that living authentically, even in a world of masks, is possible. That reminder alone can awaken dormant courage in those ready to receive it. Quantum Aligned exists to honor this truth. Your light does not harm. It heals, reveals, and transforms. Your presence reveals what others are still trying to hide. Your aura acts like a mirror, and not everyone is ready to face themselves. It's not about you, but it moves through you. That's why learning to discern what's truly yours and what's being projected onto you is essential, not to defend yourself, but to protect your inner harmony. Being the target of projection isn't punishment. It's a sign that your light illuminates what others have hidden in the dark. The ninth sign your aura is powerful is that your silences speak louder than your words. Silence is the energy of containment. It's when you hold your energy rather than spilling it into endless chatter, forced explanations, or attempts to please. In that stillness, something rare is birth, presence. Presence fills a room without effort. It's when someone enters and shifts the atmosphere without uttering a single word. That energy doesn't shout, doesn't justify itself. It just is. And that quiet being is what truly commands attention. People feel it, though they may not understand why, but they feel it. Those with strong auras know they don't need to explain everything. They understand that silence can be more expressive than 1,000 words. They know that often what is left unsaid carries more weight than spoken truths. Conscious silence radiates self-assurance. It shows that you're at peace with your own presence, that you don't need to fill every moment to prove your worth. Your energy speaks for you. Loud people might capture attention, but they rarely hold magnetism. People with solid auras leave an imprint, remembered for how they make others feel, not for speaking excessively. Well-timed silence is an extension of your vibration, and vibration never lies. One of the most powerful signs of an aura is the ability to influence in silence, to simply be without needing to prove anything. Your energy does all the talking. The 10th sign that your aura is strong is that you attract spontaneous confessions. We've all been there. Someone you just met begins pouring out their deepest stories, childhood memories, old wounds, fears they have never spoken aloud. Tears flow unexpectedly, and all this happens in what started as a casual conversation. It's as if you open a safe space where others, without knowing why, feel they can shed their mask, even if just for a few moments. It's not because you ask, it's because you hold space. You hold silence. You embrace the other person's discomfort, their pain, without rushing to fix it. Your aura invites, not with pity, but with presence, and that's rare. Carl Jung taught that the unconscious always seeks to express itself. When it finds a stable, non-judgmental vessel, an energy field that asks for nothing but offers understanding, it speaks. And sometimes it speaks a lot. That vessel is you. You're the person who can hold another's truth without trying to reshape it. You listen with your whole being, offering an attention that doesn't seek answers but only genuine connection. The unconscious feels that. That's why people share. They speak, not knowing why, and only realize it after the words have spilled out. And then they look at you, sometimes with a bit of guilt, thinking they've revealed too much. But it wasn't exposure, it was relief. Your presence creates space. And space, in today's world, is a healing medicine. Your aura doesn't demand vulnerability. It simply allows it. You don't extract truth, you invite it. Only those at peace with their own shadow can hold someone else's without breaking. Don't be surprised if strangers confide in you or if friends feel different around you. The explanation is energetic, spiritual, unconscious. You are a symbolic vessel, and only those who vibrate with steadiness can hold what others can no longer carry alone. The 11th sign your aura is powerful is that your freedom irritates those still hiding. Truly free people don't need to shout to make an impact. Your authenticity doesn't need aggression to make others uncomfortable. It simply is. And for those still cloaked in masks, your very presence is too much to face. Your freedom reveals what others are still trying to bury. You don't accuse, you don't point fingers, and you don't try to correct anyone. But by living unapologetically, you become a mirror they cannot avoid. Your life asks silently, and you? Are you still pretending? To be free in a world that rewards conformity is a subtle threat. Your lightness makes the weight of others' chains visible. Your courage highlights the fears of those clinging to comfort. That's why your energy disturbs, not because you want to, but because it challenges without touching. You irritate, but you don't offend. Your presence becomes a silent provocation for those who haven't yet given themselves permission to exist fully. People with powerful auras don't need to prove themselves. They just live. And that alone is a revolution. Have you ever left a place only to have your presence linger? That's the 12th sign. Even after you've gone, you leave an impact. This happens when your aura carries weight. People feel your absence. The silence you leave behind speaks louder than words. It's not just a normal void, it's an energetic memory. The energy you bring imprints sensations. When you leave, something remains. Sometimes it's discomfort, sometimes a void, and often it's a presence that continues to inspire, challenge, or touch those who remain. This can't be faked, bought, or forced. It's something you are. A strong aura doesn't rely on performance. It creates impact in silence, even in absence. Forgotten even while present, but those who are truly present leave an imprint. You didn't just show up, you remained, fully awake. And the final sign your aura carries divine weight is this: your inner journey shaped the light you radiate. What others sense in you, groundedness, peace, a quiet glow, didn't spring from surface quotes or borrowed wisdom. It rose from the path itself. Long nights confronting your shadow, lonely restarts, symbolic deaths where old illusions had to fall so something eternal could rise. Many speak of aura as a spontaneous sparkle. But what emanates now is forged through trial, prayerful honesty, and the choice never to betray your soul. Light wasn't given, you walk through darkness guided by God's whisper. That magnetism that unsettles or inspires others. It flows from the depth you faced inside. You've seen yourself fragile, flawed, and lost, and chose to return whole. Now your aura speaks before words. But what it says isn't about superiority. It's about courage, grace, and the beauty that blooms when a soul surrenders to truth. People call it glow or a different vibe. But what they truly feel is embodied truth. The spirit refined by fire, yet unburned. You no longer pretend. You are. And that changes the atmosphere wherever you go. If you've reached this point, you already understand these signs aren't trophies or mystical labels. They're echoes of deep, quiet work, often solitary, always sincere. Your presence carries weight not for attention, but because you no longer fit the world's shallow molds. Your energy disturbs because it reflects, revealing what's misaligned or unresolved in others. You don't force it. You simply exist. And that awakens, unsettles, and transforms. Your aura is your spiritual signature, an invisible imprint of alignment with God's design. The more faithful you are to your inner truth, the stronger and clearer this field becomes, real, felt, impossible to ignore. Yes, some will misunderstand or project their shadows onto you. That's the price of wholeness. Don't shrink your stride for their comfort. Don't dim your light because it blinds the unready. Don't make yourself smaller to fit spaces that can't hold your expansion. Your presence is a living reminder, a silent invitation for others to awaken to. As Carl Jung noted, the collective unconscious reacts to what it hasn't yet embraced. You are among the few, not to please, but to live authentically. Embrace your energy. Honor what you carry. Never apologize for being whole. Because in the end, your aura isn't merely about you. It's about what you awaken in the world just by existing. If this message stirred something in you, join us at Quantum Aligned. Subscribe and activate notifications so you'll receive more content crafted to help you recognize and strengthen your own divine energy. And if you stay with me this far, let's create a quiet bond. Comment below, my aura speaks before I do. Those attuned will understand. See you in the next video.